Hello and welcome to Buddhistdoor Global's weekly news review. I'm Justin Whitaker, Senior Correspondent for BDG, speaking to you from our offices in Hong Kong. In this week's news, a Buddhist monk cycles across the U.S. to pursue the spirit of America. Zen Buddhist monk Gregory Filson embarked on a journey across the United States in a combined effort to connect with the land of his birth and to raise awareness of Alzheimer's disease. The monk took off from 10th September from the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C., and planned to end his journey in San Francisco. It marks the second cross-country bicycle journey the monk has embarked on. He traveled as far as Springfield, Illinois, where he stayed with relatives while managing equipment issues. During that stay, Filson decided to end his effort due in part to those mechanical problems and the onset of winter. Filson vows nonetheless to ride again. In India, Dr. Yeshe Dandin, the former personal physician to the Dalai Lama, has died. Dr. Dandin, a Tibetan monk and practitioner of traditional Tibetan medicine who earned renown working for some 20 years as the personal physician to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, has died in Dharamsala, northern India, at the age of 93. Known as one of the world's foremost practitioners of Tibetan traditional medicine, Yeshe Dandin successfully treated patients with all manner of ailments from his small clinic in Dharamsala, near the Dalai Lama's official residence. Over the years, he gained considerable international fame as a highly effective and beneficial physician, particularly as a cancer specialist. Yeshe Dandin retired from seeing patients on April 1st this year due to old age. Buddhist and Muslim leaders met in Bangladesh last month to reaffirm their humanitarian commitments. Buddhist and Muslim community leaders from South and Southeast Asia met in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh on November 21st and 22nd to discuss a number of important topics, including their common solidarity with the Rohingya refugees in the region. Attended by some 30 Buddhist and Muslim leaders, the second Buddhist-Muslim Summit discussed ways in which their religions could work together to address the needs and concerns of communities across South and Southeast Asia. Along with the topic of the ongoing Rohingya refugee crisis, the participants discussed the role of women as future leaders and the need for greater response to environmental issues. During the summit, a task force was formed to advance the shared value of living in harmony with the environment as outlined in the Yogyakarta Statements on Shared Values and Commitments, a document created at the first summit at the Borobudur Temple in Yogyakarta, Indonesia in 2015. Delegates at the 14th Tibetan Religious Conference have affirmed the Dalai Lama's authority over his reincarnation. Senior leaders representing all of the Tibetan Buddhist schools convened in Dharamsala in northern India last Wednesday for the 14th Tibetan Religious Conference. Among the key issues set for discussion was the increasingly contentious issue of the lineage of the Dalai Lama, and one of the objectives for the forum was to drop a plan for the action on the matter. The Tibetan Religious Conference is held every 3 years. In addition to the continuation of the Dalai Lama's lineage, the three-day gathering, which ran from 27 to 29 November at the headquarters of the Central Tibetan Administration, also known as the Tibetan Government in Exile, was expected to examine issues related to harmony between different schools of Tibetan Buddhism, the preservation of the Vajrayana spiritual tradition and its rich culture, and the topic of exile as an avenue of change and growth for the Tibetan people. And lastly, in the United States, a Zen Buddhist priest has been arrested at a natural gas pipeline protest in Oregon. Reverend Domyo Burke, a Soto Zen priest and teacher, was among the 21 protesters arrested at the office of the state governor on 21st November. The protesters were there to urge Governor Kate Brown to cancel a planned natural gas pipeline known as the Jordan Cove Project. Protests began with a rally outside the Capitol building before moving into the Capitol Rotunda. Some 75 people sat on the floor of the reception area at the governor's office, vowing to remain until they were arrested. Around 9 p.m., officers were instructed to begin making arrests of those who did not leave, and the 21 arrested were charged with second-degree criminal trespassing. The protesters demanded that the governor oppose the project, which they say will encourage more fossil fuel burning and accelerate the pace of the global climate crisis. That is all for this week's BDG News Review. If you enjoy regular news videos delivered to you each week, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with friends. We appreciate your support and feedback in the comments below. Be sure to check out our website, Buddhistdoor.net, for these stories along with features and special coverage of Buddhism around the world.